Hey everyone, this is Dice T, and I'm here to give you an update on the Ironsworn Starforged system for Foundry. The uh, the step at this point was to move everything out of the macro stage and get everything into the system in the actual code, and actually work on the concrete system rather than some fun functionality. It was pretty cool because I was hitting my head against the wall for a good week, struggling with all the different systems that um, Foundry has on the API inside. But um, kind of like started from scratch, and everything just started clicking in. So here we are. We are in an empty scene, basically an empty system right now. Has does not have any actual actors or items or anything like that. So we're going to start by creating an actor. We'll just give it a generic name. It defaults to sector since sectors are probably the most common thing that you'll be creating from that location. Um, so you have the sector here. It pulls up the dossier, which is a generic empty dossier right now. From at that point, we can generate the sector by clicking plus sector. This will create the random content. It will name the sector, and it will fill up the dossier with the information generated from all the tables. You can come in here and edit it. So if you want to do all this manually, you still have that option. So it also generates an icon, the sun, the stellar object icon. You can actually come in here and change like the tint of the star, but you can also add um, effects, a lighting effect to it. It's kind of cool. It's not a. It's This is something down the road that we will um, include um, an update for, so that it automatically generates it. It'll go based on the stellar object. So if you like have a red dwarf, or it'll tint the colors, or a blue star, it'll tint the colors appropriately. It's a little too big, obviously, but you get it. You get the idea here. You can actually do all these things manually. So even if you don't like whatever we generate, you can come in here and edit the token and update that. That's just more of a cosmetic thing, but it just adds a cool little quote unquote, sorry for the pun, flair to the game. Um, so at this point, you have your sector dossier, and you also have the ability to add planets and deep space orbitals. When you click a planet, it will generate a planet randomly in the screen. This is a full actor. These are created when you create the sector. The folder in the actor directory is created, and that's where the sector is placed. And then everything that we do within the sector is going to be generated here and placed into this folder. So that way, if you ever want to delete it too, you can just easily right-click, delete all, and get rid of the whole thing. You have to get rid of the sector as well, or the scene as well. Once this planet is generated, however, you can see Furnace World. There's no naming convention for this yet. Still working on finding good tables for planet naming. But you can double click on the Furnace World, and you can and all the content was created, so you don't have to actually reveal anything about the planet until you go in and click on it. Items like discovery and focus, when they're scheduled to, or those come up on the tables to roll on the discovery, focus, or action and theme tables. They're tagged appropriately. Missing a comma there. The same holds true if there's a roll twice. It'll go through the tables and roll twice as appropriate. Um, So we can actually generate a couple more planets. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. So this one generated grave worlds. There's actually, right now we have 4 different planet graphics for each planet type. So, and you can also always, of course, go in and put your own in. And then we'll click a deep space orbital as well. Where'd you go? Oh, you're way over here. So you can relocate these as well if you want, just to give it variety if they tend to bunch up or something. Deep space orbitals, when you pop up, pulls up the dossier as well. Deep space orbitals, you'll be able to add connections to. That functionality is not in yet. The planets, you can add an orbital, a planet side settlements, or a connection to the planet as well. So when you click an orbital, it will generate an orbital. We will get this functioning so it puts it near the planet, but at this point it doesn't. So you can actually, if you're on the furnace world, this one does have a planet side settlement, so I should generate a planet side settlement and drop it near the planet. I used to hook into there. Oh, that must have been the pins. Journal entries can go on the points, I guess. I think we can we hold shift in there or something on these? Nope, they must lock in. So no settlements there, no settlements there, but that would generate an orbital anyway for you. There. So you could actually go into this grave if you wanted to put an orbital there. One was discovered later for some reason, a settlement. You could actually go in and type in, just change it so all these are editable. There's a notes section down here as well for additional notes. This is also where the connections will be displayed. Really, that's about it. There was a big step just to get this into the code rather than running as a macro. It's just a huge step in the right direction and allows a lot of the consistency too with getting these dossiers in, and setting these up as actors is a huge thing too. They have a more distinct presence on the board rather than just a journal note. We can do a lot of other things like the animations and stuff to them, and attaching other items to them is needed. But other than that, that's about where we're at. The next step at this point is to get a working character sheet functional, and at that point you'll actually be able to use the system. And the dice rolls. So yeah, character sheet and dice rolls. Once those 2 things are done, you can actually use the system, because I mean it's meant to be done manually as well. That's how the game's meant to be played. All these things are for just adding, this is just adding a nice layer to get rid of some of the heavy lifting if you don't want to do it and want to jump right into play. Also gives a good presentation for you to use if you're using, if you're producing video content on Twitch or YouTube. So, and yeah, once we get like spaceships in here too, you'll be able to fly your spaceships around the board, showing where you're at. But anyway, this is a huge step and pretty cool so far. The dossiers are kind of like the theme on this. We might offer a green theme as well down the road, but all the bells and whistles and things like that, those are once we get all that functionality working rock solid, then we can worry about all these things. But that is about it for now. I thank you very much and look forward to the next update. Peace.